Welcome into Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here is G Money Grant Mitchell. He is back in his throne on a Friday, and you can't teach that. You can teach Sean Payton how to call a damn offense, though, because he sucks. Bada boom, man, the people in the room, welcome in to Ride the Line.
One of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history doesn't look so bad all of a sudden. Sean Payton, probably a top 5 offensive mind when he left for the television studio. After a year or two off, it looks like he's never coached a football game in his entire life. The team commits penalties. They turn the ball over. The offense, it has no creativity, bad clock decisions. The Broncos are a mess right now.
They are terrible. And if it wasn't for that soft as hell roughing the passer call on Russell Wilson, they wouldn't have scored a single point last night. Sean Payton, run, pass. I hate that. I hate this in the NFL where it's like run, pass. Russell Wilson is an MVP quarterback. I know he is not an MVP now, but he is a former MVP, and he is still better than a lot of quarterbacks in this league if you let him cook. Got to let him cook.
Former MVP candidate.
Okay, former MVP candidate. All-pro. Let him cook.
I don't think he's ever made an all-pro team.
He's a potential Hall of Famer.
He is a potential Hall of Famer. I will give you that. Maybe it's first-team all-pro. I know he hasn't made a first-team all-pro. He could be a second team.
Well, he sucks. So let me see. Let me see what Russell.
You know what? I do want to give him a little bit of credit. Russell Wilson tried to win. He did run. He had a couple nice scrambles. He did put his body on the line. Last year, he kind of just quit. He signed the contract. He didn't even really want to be out there. At least he tried a little bit. I'm not going to blame him for the second interception. The ball's tipped, and his tight end takes a terrible route to go get it. It's a free pick for the Chiefs, but he wasn't good. He still wasn't good. Kadarius Toney had a better QBR on the night than Russell Wilson did.
Russell Wilson's jersey is retired at NC State. He should be better than he is right now.
It isn't retired at Wisconsin?
No, NC State only.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke because he transferred there. How do you feel about that, by the way? How do you feel that Alabama fans claim Jalen Hurts? Do you think that's acceptable?
No. Jalen Hurts. Alabama turned their back on Jalen Hurts. The fans can't claim, they were get Tua in here, get Tua, when Jalen Hurts was benched. But you know what? Jalen Hurts he's just a stand-up guy. He's just what he did in college to come back and win the SEC championship game. The whole script for him was amazing.
Yeah, and every time you listen to him in an interview, you hear him talk or you see his demeanor on the field, you can just tell he's a very authentic guy. Jalen's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he just wants to win. It's nice. I wish Sean Payton had that energy and that fire. And also, too, last night, kickers aren't supposed to, kickers can make field goals in the win.
Oh, bro, that kick was good from 70.
The
one from 60, it ripped into that. What's the thing called in the back of the net? Just the net. I don't know if there's a more technical term. It ripped into the net. Normally when they make it from that far, it just kind of creeps over the bar.
And the Broncos were in field goal range. Because I took Will Lutz kicking points last night just because I was feeling dangerous like Russell Wilson, and it was not dangerous. And the man didn't even attempt a field goal, and he was in a position to in the first drive of the game. So if I'm seeing one guy, and his back was to the wind, so the ball would have traveled 90 yards if he kicked it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game for the Broncos. I was on Broncos plus 10.5. They lost by 11. I said to myself, I love the under. But in my mind, if the game is an under game, then larger spreads are a lot harder to account for or to cover because there's fewer points scored. The importance of every point is raised. And I was a little worried that, this is still Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They can score a ton of points at any moment. So I didn't go with the under. I know that was your favorite pick of the show last time, so good on you. I did not go with the under. I went with the Broncos plus 10.5, and to lose by a half point with the Sean Payton timeout on the fourth down, with the fumble towards the end of the game, that bad interception, that was just brutal. I'm not going to call it a bad beat because the Broncos were terrible in that game, but it was disheartening to miss out by a half point.
I lost ungodly amounts of money last night. Like I had the under, but like I played all the boosts. Like first of all, FanDuel, you guys are criminal. You guys are legitimately criminal. Putting a boost out there for Russell Wilson and whatever Patrick Mahomes to each have 200 plus passing yards. You know everyone's going to take that. Everyone in the world's going to take that. And you know what? You did it last Thursday too with Jimmy G and whoever else and Jordan
Love, yeah.
Or Monday, whatever, Sunday. I don't remember that. You guys are criminal. You do it every week, and everyone's going to take it every single damn week. And then I played a bunch of stuff. I like Will Lutz kicking points, stupid. What else did I have? I just started throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall, and it just didn't work out. But anyways, you know what's going to work out is our picks on Sunday because we're still here. Might have lost last night, but I'm still showing up. I didn't hear no bell. I didn't hear no goddamn bell.
Give it Tanner, to give you some credit here, I keep track of our records here on Ride the Line. You are 20-13 in the NFL season with the picks that you give out, which is making a lot of money. That is well in the green. I'm 17-11-1 for comparison, so I still got to catch up to you, but you're giving the people the winners.
Also, Isaiah Pacheco, soft. Run the ball with a little heart, buddy.
So here's the thing. I love Pacheco. I really do. I think he's a good player. I think he fits their system well. I normally like his tenacity, but as a former runner, as someone who ran track and field in the NCAA, Isaiah Pacheco does not need to run the way he stomps the ground. There's an old trick that we talk about that coaches use in the running world where you take a tennis ball and you drop it, and you take a tennis ball and you throw it, and you say, well, which one rebounds further? Obviously, the one that you throw. Isaiah Pacheco pushes down when he runs, like he kicks the ground. You want to push backwards so that you're propelled forwards. He just runs around stomping like an angry little kid.
He runs like a baby bull.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. It's like he's trying to punish the earth with every step. It's cool to watch for a little bit, but his poor joints and tendons, like the guy's gonna have arthritis in 2 years.
And then he's first down and like he's doing push-ups. Like, bro, you've gone over 65 yards one time this season. Like, you've had 100-yard game and you're doing push-ups after you freaking have a run. Like, bro, your total was 77.5. And there were a lot of people counting on you to go over that total last night. And you were terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't the best. But like you said, Tanner, we've got some picks coming out headed into this weekend here. We got 3 apiece. You want to go first? You want me to kick it off?
You start. Why don't you start with your Bears pick, and I'll follow up with that.
Oh, you're just going to spoil my pick here. Well, I guess that since Tanner has let the cat out the bag, I'm taking the Chicago Bears +3 versus the Minnesota Vikings. Full disclaimer, I do think they will win this game. I will be betting them on the money line. But to all my risk-averse people out there, you can get the full field goal on the spread if you choose to do so. So the Vikings are only 1-4. They've only won 1 game this season. Obviously, that is the same case with the Bears. But the Vikings are going to be without Justin Jefferson. And I know that that's only one player, but this is the reigning offensive player of the year, a guy that has accounted for more than 38% of the Vikings offense so far. That is pretty significant here. The Bears started very poorly, but they've scored 68 points over the last 2 weeks. You look at Justin Fields, he's averaging 350 total yards, has 8 touchdowns to only 1 interception during that stretch. Both teams are 1-3-1 against the spread, so we don't necessarily have any sort of great advantage from that department. But the Vikings offense doesn't really look like anything special to begin with. Now they've lost the guy that, normally quarterbacks make the offense go. Sometimes it's the running backs. The Vikings really one of the only teams that the receiver dictates how the team goes. But without Justin Jefferson in that lineup, I don't think they're going to do very well. And the Vikings defense also isn't that great. And I know the Bears started poorly, but like I said, they've been showing a lot of signs of life lately. So I'm taking the Bears +3 versus the Vikings.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. I think they went outright. And the way they're going to win outright is by Justin Fields going over 191.5 passing yards. I'm shocked that sportsbooks have not adjusted to this line because he's gone over in 4 or 5 games so far. In the one game that he didn't go over in, it was just when they got dominated by the Chiefs and they barely could get a first down. He threw for 99 yards in that game. But in the past 2 weeks has well over 600 yards. DJ Moore looks fantastic. He's got 8 passing touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. Has really been dominant. Even the first 2 weeks of the season, he threw for 216 against the Packers and 211 against the Buccaneers. So they're letting him throw the ball a lot this season. They're starting to let him throw on the run, get him out of the pocket. That helps when he does have to sit in the pocket and pick teams apart. And DJ Moore's making big catches down the field. So really like the over of 191. This is going to keep getting bet up. So I would get on it right now.
I like that a lot. And I like what you said about the sports books failing to adjust. Another line, I'll just go into my second pick right here. This is a player prop. I think that the sports books haven't adjusted to Cooper Kupp over 88.5 receiving yards, because Kupp, he missed a couple of games. He was on IR, but he comes back last week. Even with Puka Nacua being the revelation that he has been, Kupp still gets the most targets on the team, 12, catches 8 balls for 118 yards in his return to the lineup. Now, the guy that won Offensive Player of the Year 2 years ago, his line's only at 88.5 against an Arizona Cardinals team that ranks 26th in passing defense. They're giving up 226 passing yards per game. You look at what they've allowed to number one wide receivers recently, the Cardinals, that is. Last week, Jamar Chase catches 192 yards, 3 touchdowns on him. The week before that, Brandon Ayuk, 148 yards. The week before that, Michael Gallup, who, Cooper Kupp is a lot better than 92 yards. This Cardinals defense, the Cardinals team, sure, they've been competitive and they've been able to cover a couple of games, but this line is just too low. And yes, Nacua is going to, steal a few targets here and there, but Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp arguably have the best connection in the entire league. I think the only combo that's even close is Mahomes and Kelsey, but I would probably say Stafford and Kupp are number one. I mean, it's like Stafford always knows when he's open, knows when to get him the football. So 88.5 receiving yards, I think this is just too good to pass up. Cooper Kupp, like I said, caught 118 yards last week, and in 5 of 8 games where he was healthy last year, went over 100 yards. So 6 of his last 9, he's gone for 100 plus. I don't get why the line's at 88.5. I'm betting the over.
I like it. He's better than Puka Nacua for sure. So those Nacua targets are going to start going downhill. I'm going to keep rolling, Grant. Just keep it going. Ready for this?
What you got?
Big moment here. San Francisco 49ers. I'll save my poverty franchise under pick for the last pick of the show, but 49ers minus 9.5 right now. Deshaun Watson's not going to play in this football game. Not that it matters. Massage sucks. Like, he's just not good. They don't have Nick Chubb anymore. This team overall is really on a downhill spiral, especially when they're going to face the San Francisco 49ers, who are great on offense. They're great on defense. They're great on special teams. Christian McCaffrey was shut down by the Dallas Cowboys. Like, he made some plays running, catching the ball in the backfield. But for the most part, he was not the same Christian McCaffrey that we've seen throughout the year. With that being said, you still had Brock Purdy step up and made like amazing throws. He was picking them apart. He was fitting the ball in the tightest windows possible. So it doesn't matter. Like, this team's that good. You take Christian McCaffrey away, they can still win with Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk and all these receivers. George Kittle had the huge day, right? So I'm going to ride with them here at minus 9.5. It is a big spread, but there's no reason to think they can't beat the Browns by 10 points. There is going to be one game though, where we're like looking on Sunday where it's like a 3-point game going to the fourth quarter with a terrible team, because that's what we see in the NFL. But I still believe they can pull away at any time.
I'm not endorsing this because there are some very large favorites this week. If I had to pick a game that I think that could be the Panthers-Dolphins game. I think the Dolphins might be overlooking them. Bryce Young's increased his passing output every week in terms of yards. I think he threw 3 touchdowns last week. QBR's been getting better. So I see that if there's a game like that, I think it's the Panthers game. As far as this 49ers-Browns game, it's tricky because all week I wasn't going to bet it, but in my head I was thinking I'm going to go with the Browns here. But with PJ Walker set to start and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson in relief if needed, doesn't really shake out too good. I know the Bears defense is excellent and that, probably going to lead to a lower scoring game. But the Cowboys had the best defense in the NFL, one of the best defenses in NFL history up to that point in the season. And the 49ers hung 42 points on them in prime time. So I mean, at this point, you can't really bet against the 49ers. Brock Purdy still hasn't lost a game where he doesn't go to the hospital after. They seem to cover. I think they cover in like 75, 80% of his starts. So I wouldn't be advising to bet against the Niners. Their luck will run out at some point, but that's not necessarily logic that you can hold on to.
Brock Purdy, we talk about like frat boy jerseys.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's jersey is going to be a frat boy jersey. That's going to be one of the darty jerseys. Him and Austin Reeves.
It's definitely Reeves is still definitely number one. Reeves is crushing in the frat party department. But one thing about Brock Purdy, that last week was the best performance of his career, bar none. He was outstanding. Do you remember the play where it was like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 15? They get the 40-yard bomb to Ayuk, gets called back for a penalty, and then he converts again on 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, whatever it was. That takes remarkable poise and resilience. And I don't know if you saw the blooper compilation going around on Twitter of him in college, but to see that is the same guy and see what he's doing right now, he looks remarkable.
Yeah, he's in a good system with Kyle Shanahan. Did you see Micah Parsons saying like it's personal now?
Yeah, I
like
did see that. Micah, look, I want to give Micah credit. First of all, I do like a majority of athletes' podcasts because I like that they're able to give us insight that we'll never know because we're never a part of the games. But I think sometimes guys, just in the natural flow of conversation, say things that they do believe, and it might not be wrong. I'm not saying that he isn't wrong with that, but sometimes they just say things that, it's bulletin board material for other teams. And Micah, I feel like he's done a lot of that. Like after or going into the Cardinals game, he said he was hunting. You remember that? And now there's this, that the Cowboys are still in the same league as the 49ers after you lose by 32. Sometimes you just got to dial it back. You don't want to put all that stuff out there.
Just shut your mouth, Micah Parsons. Like, bro, you guys, you didn't get beat by 7. You didn't get beat by 14, and Dak had a turnover that was like going on the game-winning drive. Like, you got beat in every phase of they were converting 3rd and 20s on you. They don't if they want to see you in the playoffs, they'll beat you in the playoffs. They're a better team than you. I don't see anyone. I mean, the 49ers are going to be tough to beat.
49ers are going to be very tough to beat, just like this team in the NFC West, the same conference, the same division, a team that I was very high on going into the year. I like the Seattle Seahawks +3 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And just like with my Bears pick, I will be betting the Seahawks on the money line, but again, +3 gives you more insurance. I think the Seahawks are in a very good spot here against the Bengals because, Joe Burrow threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns for the first time last game. The Bengals must be back, right? Like I said a minute ago, the Cardinals have the 26th ranked passing defense. Joe Burrow is still he's still stuck in mud. He can't escape from anybody. That pocket collapses. He's going down. He can't defend himself. The Seahawks defense is supposed to be the weak point of their team, yet they give up exactly the same amount of points per game as the Bengals do, who are supposed to have a strong defense. Seattle's run defense significantly improved, and Seattle's scoring more than 11 points per game than Cincinnati is. You go look at QBR, you look at Pro Football Focus, Geno Smith is a top 10 quarterback, and he's playing like it right now. And like I said earlier in the year, Joe Burrow has Burrow on the back of his jersey, but he's not the real Joe Burrow. Not with this injury. He's not been playing at a great level. The one thing that I will say about the Seattle defense that is their glaring weakness is their red zone defense is atrocious. Give up touchdowns on over nearly 88% of opponent red zone attempts. But Jamal Adams is coming back into the lineup. He was there for a couple of plays last week or 2 weeks ago before the Seattle bye week, but he got a concussion. This is his real return. I think he makes an impact. I think the Seahawks score a lot of points. The game probably goes over, and Seattle covers and wins.
I'd be on the Bengals here. I'd probably stay away from it just because, like you said, like it's not the Joe. Like I still think Joe Burrow's not healthy, but you look at the Seahawks, like they lost the Packers, terrible Packers team, lost to the Rams, 30-13. They beat the Lions on the road, which was a big win. Then they beat the Panthers and the Giants. Like they really haven't played anybody. So if the Bengals play up to their capability at home, I think they win the game. But we'll see what happens with the Bengals.
How's this, Tanner? Seattle coming off a bye, well-rested, and Pete Carroll covers more than 60% of the time he's an underdog in his career.
It's a good trend. But Joe Burrow is just, packing. So,
I mean, Joe Burrow is that dude. Like this show loves Joe Burrow. I just don't think he's healthy.
No, I don't know. I didn't watch the game last week. I just had Jamar Chase on my fantasy team. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens there with him. But it's probably a stay away game for me more than anything because it is down to 2.5, at least on FanDuel right now. So maybe it's being bet down. I'm not exactly sure. But the game that everyone needs to watch.
The game of the week.
This could be the game. This is America's game of the week. This is the 4:00 game on probably CBS. Yeah, because Fox has the Lions and the Bucks. This is America's not America's. America's is Fox. I can't lie about that. This is the game that you turn on for your kid and be like, this is how you don't play football. Like, this is the game, like, youth football. Like, if you play youth football, and like that's not how you play quarterback. Like, watch Mac Jones and do the exact opposite of what Mac Jones does. This is getting to a point, though, like, when you're under pressure and like you need everything to go right, like Mac Jones can't have any more bad starts. He really can't. Like, he can't afford to, because we already want him gone. I want to cut his ass.
His professional career is at jeopardy. If he's not the starter in New England next year, what team is going to sign him to say, here, you are our starting quarterback? There is none.
He'll be like a Sam Darnold. Like that
100%. He'll be a backup that people will respect as a quality backup, but he's not going to be starting anywhere.
No, he's terrible. Like, and just going back to the Cowboys game, watching him roll to his left, roll to his right, throw back across his leg. Like, you can't, like, that's just stuff you can't do. And I know he doesn't have weapons, but you can't do that as a quarterback. And you should really not do that if you don't have weapons. So, anyways, I like the under 41.5 in this game. This is a game that could be 17-10, 17-13. Like, it is going to be a low scoring football game because the Raiders really aren't running the football that well with Josh Jacobs right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, while he did hit his 200-yard passing number the other night, he still does not look good. And the Raiders defense is playing pretty well. Max Crosby is getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's going to sack Mac Jones 15 times. On the Patriots side, they don't have Matthew Judon anymore, but they're still a decent defense. They didn't look good against the Saints, but they're good enough to slow down the Raiders. So 41.5 is I'm shocked this isn't 39.
I do like the under in this one. Some very interesting numbers here. I believe, so I'm trying to go off of memory here, but the Patriots, I believe, rank 25th in scoring defense, second worst in scoring offense, while the Raiders, I think, are 20th in scoring offense and 29th in scoring defense. Like, these teams are truly atrocious in all three phases. I know you're talking about the Patriots defense there. Christian Gonzalez, Matthew Judon, both out, so that is probably worth mentioning. But these offenses have not given you any reason to believe this game will be a high-scoring one. Mac Jones looks terrible. Jimmy Garoppolo is your league leader in interceptions. I did see a very interesting sort of nugget on Twitter. Somebody built a model they basically analyzed with how many sacks a quarterback has taken, how many should they have actually taken? Are they overperforming or underperforming in terms of their elusiveness? And Mac Jones had the second best, was the second best as far as sacks avoided. Mahomes was number one, weirdly. So that just goes to show that, first of all, the Patriots have no guys that can get open. And second of all, the offensive line is terrible, because when you think of Mac Jones, you think of him going down like a pumpkin in the backfield. You don't think about him, having twinkle toes out there and avoiding all those rushers. So it's just not very good in New England. Honestly, Tanner, I don't know why. I have said that the Patriots will cover this weekend. I just think Bill Belichick versus Josh McDaniels on the road. Patriots spotted a full field goal. I would be leaning New England, but I do think the under is the best play here.
Yeah, I'd rather lean under. I mean, you saw what happened last year.
Ramondre Stevenson and Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers plays for the Raiders now. Yeah, maybe he's a double agent.
It was rigged. The game script was rigged. Mac Jones avoiding sacks. He avoids sacks because all they run is like quick little slants and drags. Bill O'Brien should be ashamed of himself. Like, we brought an offensive coordinator in.
I like how you're saying we, proving that you are a Patriots fan, as I've been saying for weeks.
Well, I'm not really. I'm a Buccaneers fan. But
no, you're not. You're a Tom Brady fan. You don't want to take ownership for the dumpster fire that is my allegiance.
Here's my allegiance. Tom Brady, everyone else. I will die for Tom Brady. I will do anything for that man. I will not die for the New England Patriots, not for Mac Jones.
If Tom Brady suits up this weekend in New England, is he better than Mac Jones?
Yeah, 100%. He'd be better one. Yeah, 100%. Don't you think?
Without knowing the plays?
Doesn't matter. It's Tom Brady. He knows. You could tell Tom Brady a concept. He's going to run it. Like, you just hear. He knows. Tom Brady could literally draw it up on his hand. Like, hey, run this, run this.
Tom, we're running mesh. All right, got it.
Yeah, he's got the concept. Bring a Madden playbook out there. He'd be fine. Mac Jones looks like the kid that wants the offensive lineman that wants to play quarterback in youth football. Like the kid that's got a pretty good arm. It's like, should we put him out there? It's like, no, we probably shouldn't. Put him on the offensive line. That's what he looks like. I'm sorry. And he's not like super fat. It's just his rib protector. It makes him look very round.
He does look pudgy. He looks pudgy. He's slow. He's not very nimble. Like
I'll tell you what, he looks a lot better on his noble all around Boston. It's like noble, all his noble like billboards. He looks pretty jacked on there. Doesn't help him in the game.
Does he actually?
I mean, it's the magic of Photoshop. You probably slim him up, but he's not like super chubby. It's the rib protector, but like the rib protector slows him down.
He's not muscular is the problem as well. Like, even if he's not chubby, he doesn't have much muscle on him.
There's no grit there. He's like, Mac, what are you gonna do? He's like, we gotta play better, and we gotta play better. And it's like, dude, go out and throw a damn touchdown pass. Like that's all. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking you to not do stupid things with the football. That's all I'm asking you to do.
You know what should have been the first sign that he had no grit was his walk to the stage after he got drafted. That's not the walk of a very confident man.
I like that because it was like they put the Stone Cold music behind it. He was fired out. He just made millions of dollars. He's criminal. He's freaking criminal. He stole millions of dollars. That walk was stealing millions of dollars. He was trying to run to get it before we realized how much he sucked.
He was doing the Vince McMahon walk up to the stage. Mac Jones, not, the show loves Joe Burrow. The show does not love Mac Jones.
Hey, listen, if Mac like played better, I would love Mac. Like I'm a Mac guy. I was a Mac guy. I was the biggest Mac supporter.
You were.
So the fact that I don't like him anymore, that just shows. Like I have a Mac Jones jersey. I want to burn that shit. Mac Jones ranks. You ready for this? The Patriots rank 31st in offensive passer rating from Cold Hard Football Facts. They rank Mac Jones 28th in real quarterback rating. Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. Like everyone's like shit on Justin Fields. Like, bro, he's better than Mac Jones. So Patriots would be better if Justin Fields playing quarterback for him.
I'm looking at Pro Football Focus right now. So from bottom to top, they've got quarterbacks the worst in the league: Bryce Young, Desmond Ridder, Anthony Richardson, Kenny Pickett. Understandable. First and second year guys, bad lines, not very talented guys around them except for Ridder. Mac Jones 29. He's behind Zach Wilson. He's behind Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
He's behind Josh Dobbs, Sam Howell, Jimmy G. Like
Zach Wilson's better than Mac Jones. Zach Wilson is making better decisions with the football than Mac Jones.
He is 100%. Zach Wilson has at least shown some backbone in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's like that frat boy that like just drank a lot in college and like it's like
look for MILFs.
Look for MILFs. It's amazing he's playing the NFL. It's like he might be like super like he's kind of like a Johnny Manziel, but like without all the issues.
Yeah, without being an a-hole.
Yeah, and like because like at the end of the game when he threw that pick, you're like, oh, there's Zach Wilson for you. Like I thought he was doing good there.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers is walking without crutches, by the way?
Yeah, he probably got some stem cells put into him.
Dude, if I swear to God, if Aaron Rodgers comes back from an Achilles tear in 3 months, I will lose my mind.
I don't know
everything we know about Aaron Rodgers' off-field endeavors and mindsets. I won't be able to stomach him making being the first modern marvel.
Do the Jets cover this weekend against the Eagles? I think they do.
I'm staying away. I'm staying away. I don't think the Jets can block the Eagles, so I wouldn't be surprised if they score like 6 points.
Yeah, they can't. They're not gonna be able to run the ball. This is a Zach Wilson game. He's got to because you can throw on the Eagles. This is Zach Wilson. You like Zach Wilson? You bet this game. You bet the Eagles +7.
You bet the Eagles +7. Wait, no, you bet the Jets +7.
Jets +7.
You beat the Jets. You bet the Jets +7 if you are a Zach Wilson guy. And evidently, Tanner and I are Zach Wilson guys more than we are Mac Jones guys. Guys, that's going to do it for this wonderful Friday episode of Ride the Line. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tanner, get us on out of here into the weekend.
That was the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. Mac Jones is going to throw a bunch of picks. Zach Wilson might, but I would rather bet on Zach Wilson. See you next time for another show.